Are you being watched? Do you ever get that feeling that someone's watching you even when you're alone? Yeah. I didn't believe it either until they came. I woke up at 4 a.m., drenched in sweat. My heart was pounding, but I couldn't bring myself to move. I had this awful premonition, like I was being observed, dissected by an invisible gaze that had stripped away all of my privacy, leaving me naked under its scrutiny. For a moment, I thought it was just another nightmare, those unwelcome nocturnal guests that barge into your dreams, disrupting the fragile peace of slumber. But no, this time it was different. This time, it was real. I turned to my wife, hoping to find solace in her sleeping face, but that's when I saw it, burned into my skin. There was a mark, a symbol I'd never seen before. I blinked, trying to clear my vision, convinced that if I moved, it would disappear. But no, it remained, a constant, unblinking stare. It wasn't painful, not initially at least, but it was wrong. Like a barcode burned into my flesh, a brand that screamed of a past life, a past that I never lived. I got up, my legs heavy with dread, and walked to the bathroom, turning on the overhead light to banish the shadows and hopefully obliterate the symbol. But there it was again, more pronounced now under the harsh glare, like a second skin, inseparable, inescapable. What was it? How did it get there? Was I losing my mind? Then I noticed something else. The cameras in my house, they weren't facing where I left them, and the red light, it was blinking. I crossed the room, my heart hammering against my ribs, and picked up one of the cameras. The angle was slightly different, maybe just a nudge, but it was enough to suggest movement, a deliberate shift to keep tabs on me. Fear started to creep up my throat, squeezing tight, making it hard to breathe. Had someone been in my house? Was I in danger? I checked all the doors and windows. They were locked, bolted, the deadbolt engaged. There were no signs of forced entry. Nobody was in my house, or so I thought. The cameras, they weren't connected to a system. I had dismantled them, pulled out the wires, disconnected them from the internet. I had done this weeks ago, wanting to be off the grid, to shield my privacy, my life from the prying eyes of technology. But now it seemed like whoever had been watching me knew exactly what I'd done. Then I remembered the footage. I rushed to my laptop, bringing up the security footage from the night before. I scanned through the hours, my eyes searching for any anomaly, any indication of an intruder. And then, there it was, a flicker on the screen, a blip that suggested movement. I rewound it, watching as the shadow of a man appeared, tall, motionless. He stood in the corner of my room, his face obscured by darkness. Whatever he was wearing, it distorted his features, turning him into a creature of the night. But what was he doing? Why was he there? And how did he get in? I played the footage on loop, analyzing every frame, desperate for answers, but found nothing. Except for one thing, he was still there, still standing, still watching. It was as if he had materialized out of thin air, a ghost that haunted my waking hours. My mind raced. Could I have imagined it? Had stress finally pushed me over the edge, conjuring up an intruder that only existed in my mind? Or was I in real danger? The logical part of my brain screamed that it was a figment of my imagination, a trick of the light, anything but the truth. But the primal fear within me wouldn't be silenced. It roared, demanding that I heed its warning, that I acknowledge the danger that lurked in the shadows. I called the police, of course. They took my statement, but they didn't find anything. No sign of forced entry, no evidence of a break-in, no witnesses. They suggested that I may have misremembered, that perhaps I had left the window open or forgotten to lock the door. But I knew what I had seen. I felt it in my bones. And then there was the mark on my neck, a constant reminder of the breach in my security, the violation of my privacy. I spent the next few days in a fog, jumpy, paranoid, unable to shake off the feeling that I was being watched. Every little sound made me turn. Every passing shadow sent a jolt of fear through me. I checked the locks incessantly, the windows too, always on the lookout for signs of intrusion. I was losing it, slipping into madness. Then the call came. It was the strangest call I've ever received, an old landline, the kind with the rotary dial, the ones that you rarely see anymore. The caller ID showed no number, just a series of dashes, a void where numbers should be. My hand trembled as I reached out to answer it. The phone was heavy in my hand, as if laden with the weight of some unseen presence. There was silence on the other end, a pregnant pause that stretched, amplifying the ticking of the clock, the hum of the refrigerator, the whisper of wind outside. It was unsettling, like being probed, scrutinized by the unseen entity on the other side. Then a voice broke the silence. It wasn't a voice that I recognized, not a male, not a female, just something that sounded both and neither. It was distorted, as if speaking from behind a wall, cold and emotionless. "You opened the book. Now the book has opened you." I stumbled back, knocking over a chair. What book? What was he talking about? I tried to respond, to ask questions, but my voice caught in my throat. All I could manage was a strangled whisper. "Who are you?" The voice continued, as if my question had been answered, as if we were engaged in a conversation that only I was unaware of. "We have been expecting you. You are the conduit. The transfer is imminent." I felt a chill crawl up my spine. The word visitors echoed in my mind, resonating with a strange familiarity, like a half-remembered dream. "Visitors," I whispered, testing the word on my tongue. The voice acknowledged it, a single sharp nod. "Yes, visitors." And then it was gone, cut off abruptly as if the connection had been severed intentionally. I stood there for a long time, the receiver heavy in my hand, the unanswered questions echoing in my head. Who were these visitors? What did they want? And why did they think I was important? The voice's words reverberated through me. "The book has opened you." What book? When had I opened it? As days turned into nights, I scoured my house, desperate to find this book, to understand its significance. I tore apart my library, flipping through each page, examining every line, every word. I dug through boxes of old memories, photographs, letters, anything that could shed light on the enigma that was plaguing me. Then I remembered the attic, a place of forgotten things, dusty trunks filled with the relics of the past, a labyrinth of aged books yellowed with time. I climbed the creaking stairs, each step echoing in the silence, and entered the attic. The air was thick with the scent of decay, of memories left to rot. I navigated through the clutter, years of stored possessions, until I found it. An old leather-bound book tucked away in a dark corner, hidden from sight almost as if it wanted to remain concealed. I brought it home, placing it on my desk. It was heavy, heavier than it looked, and the leather was soft, yielding to my touch. As I opened it, a musty smell wafted up, carrying with it the essence of ages past. The pages were filled with archaic script, symbols that seemed to writhe and shift as I gazed at them. It was a language I didn't recognize, yet a part of me did. I felt a pull, a magnetic draw towards the text, as if it were calling to me, beckoning me to decipher its secrets. With shaking hands, I delved deeper into the book, poring over its contents. Each page I turned revealed more intricate designs, more cryptic symbols. It was a puzzle, an enigma that teased me with its complexities. And then it hit me, the realization striking me like a bolt of lightning. This wasn't just a book. It was a map, a guide, a key to something vast and profound. It was a signal. I had opened it, as the voice had said, and now I had been marked, chosen. I felt a surge of fear, but also a sense of purpose. I had to understand this, not just for myself, but for everyone. Then the realization hit me, the truth of the matter. I wasn't just chosen, I was being watched, studied, categorized. The visitors were here, hidden among us, observing, waiting. The book hadn't just opened me to their presence, it had activated their plan. The countdown had begun. It's midnight and my phone screen is glitching. There's a timer on it, 72,000. I don't know what happens when it hits zero, but something tells me that's when the real game begins. What happens next? Find out in episode 5, Countdown to Revelation, coming soon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more terrifying tales. See you next time.